Hi everyone, it's Lynn Terry, also known as Low Carb Traveler, and I wanted to pop on here and talk about the fun year-end mini challenges that we're doing. We are on our fourth year-end mini challenge, and this one is really going to put you to the test. And then we have a fifth mini challenge starting on Monday. So make sure that you are keeping up with those fun mini challenges on my blog. I have put the link to the current mini challenge, which is how to survive the holidays and social events even and weekends and all the things that come up. There's always going to be like food focused gatherings in our lives and things that really test us. So I put the link to the post here in the description of the video for you. So lots of good tips there. But these last 5 weeks of the year are really going to challenge you. And it's really unfortunate how many times I've heard the story of people who were doing so great and saw great results and feeling so good about themselves. And then all of a sudden, they find themselves really struggling the last month or two of the year, undoing all their hard work, and they step into New Year's. Instead of celebrating what an amazing year I had or all that I accomplished or Happy New Year, instead they step into that space feeling disgusted and disappointed and having undone everything they worked so hard to achieve and losing that great feeling. And I don't want that to be your story this year. It doesn't have to be your story. So I started these year-end mini challenges. They just run for 5 days. They start every Monday to help you power through the end of the year with the right mindset, equipped with the right tools and responses and ideas to get you through all of those things. So I want to just kind of go through this particular mini challenge with you real quick because I think this is a particularly important one. This time of year is tough for a lot of people, and if you have any questions or comments or want to tell me how you handle holidays and social events and weekends and weddings and birthdays and babies and cruises and vacations and all of that other stuff, I would love to hear from you. So just leave a comment. But I want to say that it's really hard to feel deprived. So if you are on a certain way of eating or a diet, or you have weight loss goals or whatever the case, a lot of times you walk into these food-focused events, like holidays and gatherings and get-togethers and, summer barbecues and things, and you feel deprived. And that is not a good feeling, and it's not a good mindset from which to, really, thrive and get through it and have a good time. And so you end up not enjoying those things anymore. But the whole point of getting healthy is to be a healthier, happier person and to enjoy life more, not enjoy life less. So I want to talk about going from feeling like you're depriving yourself to thriving in these situations. And that's exactly what I shared in this particular mini challenge. Again, the link is in the description, and I really encourage you to read it and take it to heart and practice some of those points as we go through, some of the social get-togethers and holidays and various things here right at the end of the year. Like I said, these last 5 weeks are really going to challenge you in terms of maybe temptations or what have you. And what I would like you to do, I'm not the food police. I'm not going to say you must stick to 20 net carbs max. You must not eat one bite of holiday candy or whatever the case. What I want to encourage you to do is know your limits. And I want to encourage you to practice deliberate choices, intentional choices, and moderation, and sticking to your goals. Like knowing in your mind who you want to be, how you want to be, and what you want to feel like, how you want to feel toward yourself at New Year's. You want to be wearing a little black dress and saying this was the best year ever. I feel amazing about what I accomplished and what I did on New Year's Eve. Do you want to step into January saying, I not only undid everything I worked so hard for, but added even more worse to that, and now I have to start all over, which unfortunately is too many people's story every January, and I don't want that for you. I really don't. So it helps to get your mindset in the right place, to get your head in the right place, but also to be really prepared for these things. and know exactly how you're going to handle it, what your choices and decisions are, and how you're going to handle like Aunt Barbara, you know, or whatever. When it comes to like holiday events and get-togethers, and you know you have certain people that are going to push your buttons or be triggers for you or what have you. And I just want to say that there is no amount of food or no certain amount of food that is going to make Aunt Barbara any more tolerable. So if you're an emotional eater or a stress eater like I am, that was a big thing for me to overcome. I just want to tell you right up front that the cheesecake is not going to help, okay? It's just not. And there's keto-friendly cheesecake recipes, right? Cameron says, I don't wear dresses, but now I personally think, Cameron, you would look amazing in a little black dress. So you need to go shopping. And I can most certainly be happy to give you links where I get my favorite little black dresses if you would like that. So Cameron and I, by the way, respectfully, humorously, and enjoyably disagree on everything. So I'm just giving him a little bit of a hard time. But you get what I'm saying, though, Cameron. You know, you understand what I'm saying. It's so easy to undo everything at the end of the year. I don't want you to feel awful. I don't want you to feel frustrated. I don't want you to feel disgusted with yourself or disappointed with yourself or feel like a failure. I felt all those things, and they're awful. They're terrible feelings. What I want you to do is I want you to be prepared. I want you to know exactly like the best way to deal with certain situations, social situations, parties, gatherings, catered events, you know, food-focused things and stuff like that. And it's kind of unfortunate, really, that the focus is on the food, right? So think about the reason for the get-together. Why are we getting together? What do I like about this get-together? Who do I like at this get-together? And instead of being food-focused, I want you to use this as an opportunity to change that about yourself. Because for me, being food-focused all the time is what got me unhealthy in the first place. If someone invited me to a barbecue, I didn't even care who was going to be there. I got invited to a barbecue one time where I was not going to know anybody except the person that invited me, and I didn't even like that person. And I said, yes, I'd love to come, because all I could think about was all the food, right? All the food. And that's being food focused. And I know you can relate to some extent, right? So you think about like going on vacation and you're just like, oh, the food, you know, or whatever. Well, you don't think about packing clothes that are going to handle you at 5 to 10 pounds heavier. I've been in that situation too, where I'm like, wow, I didn't pack to eat this junk food, right? I didn't pack my fat pants. And I say that because we all have, you know, the comfortable pants we wear when we're like bloated or we ate too much stuff or whatever. I shouldn't have said it that way, but that's what I always called them or what have you. But I want you to go into this like this. I want you to be prepared. I want you to be intentional and deliberate about your choices, because I personally feel like food guilt, food shame are worse for your health than anything you could ever put in your mouth. That's just how I feel about it. And I say that from the perspective of having gone through those motions, beat myself up, gone off the rails because I was in self-sabotage and self-punishment mode because of it. Those things are not healthy. That's called an eating disorder, and I have suffered from several over the course of the years. So I want you to just be prepared in your head, get your head in the right space, know how you're going to handle things, what you're going to do, what you're going to eat, what you're not going to not eat. And I want you to be in control, because do you know that life doesn't happen to you? You are not a victim of what's being served or, you know, how people act or any of those things. You happen to life. You are in control. You're in charge. And that's what this mini challenge this week is about. It is about empowering you to make deliberate choices and feel really good about those choices that you're making. So, now, if you already know that you cannot eat off plan in moderation and easily get right back on track, if you know that you can't just enjoy, you know, I'm just going to have a bite of this and then, you know, tomorrow I will eat like I normally do and everything will be fine, except the fact that I might have to go through keto flu again, and I'm fine with that. if you know you're not that person, don't put yourself in that situation or that position. If you know that one bite is going to trigger you to go off the rails for 8 weeks or 8 months and, get in a really unhealthy place, think about that really hard. Is that what I want? Is that how I want to feel? Is that the experience that I want? Keep in mind too, there's almost always something low carb at a get together. So at big family meals, there's usually a large meat. Like, I'm very untraditional. So for Thanksgiving, US Thanksgiving, for example, I used to do crab legs. And this was even before I went low carb. And everyone loved it because they had like 7 Thanksgiving dinners to go to, and it was the same meal at every place. And then they would stop by here and I would have steamed crab legs, melted butter, Caesar salad, roasted broccoli, all low carb stuff. But there's usually something, a ham or a turkey or, roasted veggies or veggie plates or something, berries and brie, like there's all kinds of wonderful things you can enjoy. And one of the tips that I shared in the blog post I linked to in the description of this video was bring something. Bring something that's neutral, that's not necessarily full of artificial sweetener or low carb, but bring something like a veggie tray or berries and cheese tray, or just something fun that you can also eat, The other thing that I really think is important is that you don't make yourself the focus of the event, because and that's very common, where can you eat this, or oh, I can't have that, or what have you. But really to focus on the reason for the get together, focus on having fun, focus on all the people you want to see and talk to and stuff like that, instead of being focused on what you can't have or what have you. And when you do that, when you act deprived, or when you say, I can't have that because I'm on a diet or I'm doing keto, none of those things need to come up. They're not the purpose for the get together. They're not relevant to the get together. So it's best to just not bring those things up. So I want you to just be prepared to walk in happy, walk in excited, walk into any, meal, get together, social event, or whatever, prepared to have a great time as your happiest, healthiest self. And just get that out of your head. You are not on a diet. You are not deprived. It's not like you can't have those things unless you have specific health restrictions. And there are people that do, there are people who literally can't ever eat those things. So, and consider, that they make it just fine. But what I want you to do is really practice getting that out of your head, really practice getting out of your own head at events like this, and really focus on other people. So anytime you start feeling deprived, or you start feeling like you're being left out, or you start feeling like, you're doing without, or you start having an anxious craving, focus on someone else. Like find the cutest baby or the oldest person in the room is always my favorite, because they have the best stories, but focus on something or someone else. Ask if you can help in the kitchen. Go out and play with the kids for a minute, do something fun, So I want you to just stay focused on the real reason for getting together. The real reason is not about the food. And make it a point, don't bring up your diet, and all that kind of stuff. Now, some people in your family or your social circles may know that you're doing keto. They may know that you're on a diet. They may ask questions. They may trigger you. They may push your buttons. So my advice is prepare your responses in advance. Know exactly what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. And the second piece of advice I have for you is to learn how to redirect conversations fast, because they can go downhill in a minute, stress you out, and you end up like facing the cheesecake. Been there. If you're a stress eater especially, or an emotional eater. So, you don't need anyone's permission to eat what you want and not eat what you don't want. Your food choices are yours and yours alone, and you don't need validation or permission from anyone to choose the way that you eat, or the way that you address your health, or whatever your health and weight loss goals are. So leave that out of the conversation if you can. But if it comes up, if someone asks me, are you still eating keto? I say, yeah, I am. I'm still eating healthy. How are you doing, by the way? How's your daughter? Or how's your date last night? Or whatever it is about them, like redirect super fast. and redirect it back to them. People love to talk about themselves. So as quick as you can, answer with a smile and redirect and take just an extreme interest in what they're saying so that it takes the heat off you. So I want you to practice that. I want you to decide, what am I going to say if this comes up, or if, Aunt Joe or whatever that always drives me bonkers, approaches me, have those prepared responses. So always and then anytime you catch yourself feeling deprived or feeling like you're going to go off the rails, just bring yourself back in check. Focus on someone else. Find someone to talk to. Compliment them. I love your dress. Where did you get that dress, Cameron? Or what have you. Just redirect yourself in the same way that you have to redirect other people and other conversations. Learn how to redirect yourself. And it's an easy thing. It sounds harder than it is, but it's an easy thing that starts to come natural. It starts to become a habit after a while. It took me a long time to get it. I used to watch people eat donuts like this. I would be like, can I just watch you eat that? It was awful. Now I just redirect my attention to something else, somewhere else. I don't even want that stuff anymore. I don't like the way that it makes me feel. But I want you to figure out what you're going to do ahead of time. I want you to have a plan. I want you to get through the holidays gracefully. And I want you to close out this year, these last few weeks of the year. I want at the end of that for you to feel amazing and proud of yourself and happy with what you've accomplished this year. I don't want you to be one of the hundreds or thousands or millions of stories that say, I'm so disgusted with myself. I undid all the hard work that I worked so hard for. I was so happy with myself and now I don't like myself. I don't want that to be your story this year. It doesn't have to be. You're in control. It's your choice. So check out the link. It's really some fun tips that you can practice. It's a great time of year to practice. There's more social get-togethers, social invites, and temptations than ever this time of year. So practice some of these things. Let me know how they work out for you. Let me know if you have any questions. Just go to the link that's in the description of this video. I've written everything out. You can scan over it and check it out. And let me know if you're participating in this challenge. Just comment, I'm in. Even if you're just going to try, even if you're just going to practice some of these things, leave a comment and say, I'm in. I want to know. And pop a like, give me a like or a heart or your favorite emoji or something. And let me know if you're planning to end this year strong or just totally throw everything in the trash and start over in January. I don't think you're going to be happy with yourself if you do that. Just saying. But we are doing a lot of fun mini challenges through the end of the year. This is mini challenge number 4. You can find the rest of them on my blog also at travelinglowcarb.com. And we will start a 5th mini challenge on Monday, so stay tuned for that as well. If you have any questions, if you want to share any stories, if you have any other ideas that I didn't include in that mini challenge post, feel free to share them here in the comments. And I will be back and we'll continue this discussion in the discussion or comments area. All right, have a great rest of the day or night and enjoy your dinner if you haven't already.